Okay, let me try to continue. Now, it depends what you want. In other words, the first model, non-micro adjuster Gen 4 Pro, it only comes in the flat version. You're limited in your adjustability. It's on the user to learn the tricks to adjust, to position the knife to become consistent, to become proficient with working with what you have. It's easier to be able to do both. Get the gross angle, get the position, lock everything up, and then fine tune it with the cube exactly, because we don't clamp our sweet spot necessarily. We may be good enough to hit it dead nuts on every time, but mostly it's off a portion of a degree. And when you work with the scope and you work with the adjusters, you will, when you do your test strokes, you will see exactly where your new stroke is laying. And if it's not over scratching the previous, then you didn't, if you lock the knife from grit to grit to grit, never move the knife, and you change the grit, and now the next grit doesn't match, it's because the angle is slightly off. And with the micro adjusters and a cube, you can dial in that 1/4 degree or 2/10, whatever it is, and now it's right over the top, superimposed, scratched on top of previous scratch. And it makes your work look nicer because you're doing everything within that bevel height. Again, you're not sometimes up here and sometimes down there, which ends up making your bevels bigger. You're controlling the angle precisely each and every time, so you're printing that angle there. You're scratching that angle there. If you're off a little bit, you're scratching above and below, and that bevel ends up, even though it's a 20-degree bevel, it ends up being taller. The tight, crisp bevels mean that your sharpening efficiency and polishing efficiency is improved, so you're going to get better outcomes. You're not going to get the stray scratches, but everything you're doing is where you want to do it. So it's efficient, it's effective, it saves you time, it saves you effort. And you finally can see the fruits of your labor, instead of what we did for so long was we chased, what are we doing wrong? And that's what all this is about, is putting the control to the different models. That's what I'm about, the solutions, is taking all of the different models that I have and doing what I can do to give me the most control and adjustability and ease of use for that individual model. So now we got the Gen 4 Pro. We got the first one that came out with the double knobs, because these knobs, you had to lock them, and because we had to hold them, the feel was loose. So we tightened up the screw on the back to give it a tighter feel, and then Doug printed up these big wheel knobs that go on it to give you a little more torque. So that was the first accessory upgrade that we offered for the first version, Gen 4 Pro. And that was how we were working with it. And only after Wicked Edge released the new version did I realized that they agreed that they didn't like the feel of this, just like those of us who have used Wicked Edge forever. It's not that it was bad, it just wasn't Wicked Edge wonderful. And now this one is what I would say is a Generation 4 model. It is, I don't see where they could go to necessarily improve this. Other than, in my mind, make the vise taller. But that's what I do with my accessories. That's why I have risers and stable risers and such. Okay, for this model that has no micro adjusters, the Expert Corner Group offers bracket arms that have the screw micro adjusters, just like on the square bar that we offer for the Wicked Edge 100, 120, and 130. It's the same type of thing that Wicked Edge used with the Gen 3 Pro. So we brought that back for the Gen 4 Pro. It's like a step backwards, but it gives you micro adjustments if you didn't purchase it. And it upgrades the original version micro adjusters because it is a better feel. It's not as nice as the top of the line version 2 Gen 4 Pro, but it's very, very good. And because, excuse me, the components of the bracket, the screw fits pretty snugly. So it's easy to adjust it, and with one finger and just hit that knurl knob and lock it up. It is an improvement over the Gen 3 Pro. Even though it is the same micro adjuster, because the bracket is plastic, it holds those threads tighter, so you get like backlash. And this does everything that the Gen 3 Pro does everything the Gen 4 Pro with the micro adjusters, all the same guide rods, and then I can accessorize it the same with the stable riser, which is support for clamping the knife. So that is hopefully where we are with the Gen 4 Pro. You have the non-micro adjustment version. Let me look at the time. I got to stop here and we'll go on.